And welcome to Abbey's Campus Square for the Oregon Tech Coaches Show. I'm Bobby Thompson along with Mike Garrard. And, we've got Coach Parnell, but he'll be following Coach Meredith and representative of the ladies team. And then for the men, they'll also have a rep here. But, boy, what an exciting week it was this past week. The Oregon Tech ladies, the Oregon Tech men, they both swept. They got the brooms out, and they dusted everything in sight. And at the same time they were doing it, that College of Idaho men lost. Northwest Christian men lost twice. Corbin beat both of them. And I'll tell you, it's tough because it is really Corbin, I should say, beat College of Idaho. Eastern Oregon won both games of the weekend. They were the one team. They went 2-0 on the weekend on the men's side. And that was so important because Oregon Tech went up and played Northwest, and Northwest won the game. I mean, they won everything but 2 minutes of the game, and that 2 minutes cost them dearly as Oregon Tech wins the game, and Tech now at this time sits with a record of 9-2, same as College of Idaho, going into C of I playing at Eastern Oregon tonight, which should be a big game. And Mike, as you say, C of I, the last time they lost, it was to Northwest Christian, and all of a sudden the next game they played was Eastern Oregon at Caldwell, and they won that. Well, this time they played Northwest Christian and they beat them,
right?
But they lost to Corbin, and now again it's Eastern Oregon. Well, and they won one single game at Eastern Oregon, though, tonight.
And that just goes to show, in my opinion, how deep the Cascade Conference is on the men's side. At least when you look at it, you look at Corbin, sixth right now in the conference, and they go and beat the number one team in the conference, and at that time the number two team in the country on the road, in a place that I don't think College of Idaho hadn't lost, I think, since our men had beat them there.
Right, that's right.
In the playoffs, so a year ago. So I mean, you look at it, and the Cascade Conference. You look, we lose at home to Warner Pacific. Warner Pacific's 5-5. So if you don't come ready to play any given night on the men's side, it is going to be very, very tough. Now on the ladies' side, you've got Eastern Oregon. They're 11-0 in conference play.
The winner.
And they're just cruising. Southern Oregon at 10-3. Corbin at 8-3. Honestly, you and I both feel with Corbin right now that they're the number two team in the Cascade Conference. But you've got Warner Pacific at 8-4. Oregon Tech at 7-4. College of Idaho at 7-6. And those three teams really fighting it out for those final two home playoff positions and positions 2, 3, and 4 in the conference, and a shot at hosting a home playoff game. And then if Eastern is that number one seed, you want to be the number two seed, so
you don't have to play them till the championship,
and then it doesn't matter if
matter.
So on the women's side anyway. So that would be the nice thing. And for the conference on the ladies' side, the Lady Owls will be going up next weekend up to Walla Walla. Of course, the Oregon Tech men will not, because Walla Walla basically forfeited their season. So women's basketball will be up at Walla Walla next weekend, February 1st and 2nd. So for those two games, and then you finish out the schedule. So for the Lady Owls, you've got one long road trip to Washington back left, and then Northwest Christian and Corbin the last
on the road.
The last two. And for the men, they've only got the one road trip left at Northwest Christian and Corbin.
They do, and of course they've got three very tough games right in a row here at home.
Crucial.
And then they go on the road after a week of being off themselves, go on the road up and play at Northwest Christian on Friday, Corbin on Saturday, and then come home for the final weekend of the season and play Eastern Oregon and College of Idaho in the very last game. We played College of Idaho in the first conference game, and we're going to play them in the last conference game of the regular season.
That's the way they do the schedule. A couple hours ago, the NAI sent out their top 25 poll. Hustling Owls move up from 14 to 12. Mm-hmm. College of Idaho slips back a little bit after losing at home to Corbin. They go from 2 to 4. No other conference teams on the men's side in the top 25.
Way down in the receiving votes.
In the receiving both Eastern Oregon and Northwest Christian are in the receiving votes category. So, you look on the men's side, and that is kind of where things are right now. That third team is yet to really emerge.
Yeah.
I have a feeling it's going to be Northwest Christian, but we'll have to see. It very well could be Eastern Oregon tonight.
Eastern Oregon tonight playing at home against C of I. C of I, of course, has not even come close to losing 2 games in a row.
Right.
The first time that they lost, they won the next game by 80 points. Yeah, folks,
Right.
I said 80. And then the next time that they lost, they won by 17. And now this time they lost, and they have to go to college or to Eastern Oregon. Could be. I think it's going to be a very good game. I really do.
It should be a good game, and boy, I tell you, then they wrap up their season, Eastern Oregon and College of Idaho on the road at Southern Oregon and Oregon Tech.
Yeah, you look at College of Idaho, and you think how many road games they must have left. Because if you the old, as we call it, Danny Miles plus minus system, we lead the entire world with a +5. And C of I is +2, but they have more chances to pick up ones and catches that way because the only 2 road games we have left where we can pick it up are those 2, Corbin and Northwest Christian.
Yeah, and those will
and those are going to be brutal games.
Those will be really, really good games. Women's top 25 poll also came out today. Eastern Oregon moved up. They were at 13. They moved up to 10. As we mentioned, they're 17-2 overall, undefeated in conference play. Corbin leapfrogged Southern Oregon, as they should have. They went from the not receiving votes to 22 as Corbin debuts. Southern Oregon holds on in the top 25 at number 24.
You look at that, and I think that the ranking of Eastern Oregon, I personally think it's wrong. Either our league is so weak because they lose those first 2 games and haven't even come close, really, to losing since.
And then they're 17-2.
I mean, you win 17 games in a row, and all you can do is get up to, you say, number 12?
There's 3 teams ranked ahead of them with more losses
than they have. Right.
And so it's interesting. But again, you have to look at where things are on the national level. It's a good question. We're going to save it. We're going to ask it to head coach Scott Meredith from the Oregon Tech Lady Owls, and he will join us when we come back to Abby's Pizza. We remind you, we are here for the Oregon Tech Owls Coaches Show. We're live Tuesday nights at Abby's Pizza up here at Campus Drive. We welcome you to come on down and check out the show. Of course, we're streaming live on Facebook as well at Klamath Falls News, and of course, live on 104.3 and 960 Sports. It's the OIT Owls Coaches Show. Abby Kreiser from the Lady Owls will join us along with Scott Meredith, and a little later on, Tyler Heib will be here with Justin Parnell on the men's side. So stay right here and come back and join us at the OIT Owls Coaches Show. We're back from Abby's in just a minute.
Threads. There are many threads that run through our region. There are churches and schools and Little League teams that bring us together and bind us into communities. There are roads and cars, there are houses and jobs and businesses, all woven together to make the fabric of our communities. There are financial threads that are part of that tapestry as well. For over 80 years, it's been our pleasure to be headquartered here, providing financial services to generations of our friends and neighbors. From that first savings account, to retirement planning, and all of the cars and houses and groceries in between. We keep your money local, investing it back into our communities, adding more threads to the fabric to make our communities stronger. Pacific Crest Federal Credit Union. Find your path.
You can have your car taken to the shop of your choice. So my friend had her car taken to Excel Auto Body because she heard about their reputation for excellent work. They even gave her a written warranty that's good for as long as she owns that car. So Excel Auto Body is a very smart choice.
Hi, I'm Rorik, owner of Excel Auto Body. No matter if the damage is minor or major, you'll want to choose us now. So if you are ever in an accident, you'll be ready. And remember, it's your choice what body shop you go to. Choose Excel Auto Body. It's your car, our reputation.
Slow down.
Slow down and move over.
And move over. When you see lights,
vests,
or reflectors,
please give us some room. Slow down and move over. When you need us,
we've got your back.
Do you have ours?
You got our back?
You got ours? You got our back? Please, slow down
and move over. SportsCenter.com. OIT Owls.
And we're back.
Thank you. Welcome back to the OIT Coaches Show from Abby's Pizza on Campus Square. Here's Bobby and Mike.
Open up the champagne, pop. It's my house, come on, turn it up.
And we welcome you back here at Abby's Pizza. We are Campus Square for the Oregon Tech Owls Coaches Show. Mike Garrard, Bobby Thompson, and of course, we welcome in head coach Scott Meredith of the Lady Owls. And Scott, congratulations, a nice weekend sweep for the Lady Owls. Always a tough road trip. You go on the road, Northwest. They've had some injuries. Their team just doesn't seem to be gelled like it normally has. Ken usually does a really good job with his team. But, hey, you go on the road. You don't have to apologize for 2 wins, 2 nice wins as well.
Yeah, no, thank you. It's a long ways to go, and Northwest has a really good team. They've got 6'2", 6'2" inside. They've got perimeter shooters all over the place. They're well coached. I just thought we played a pretty solid game. Up by 5 at half, and Northwest came back, and I think we held on to a 1-point lead going into the fourth quarter, and we turned up the pressure a little bit. We got some turnovers and a couple of 10-second calls, and it looked like we caught Northwest off guard a little bit. Looked like they just weren't quite prepared for what we threw at them. And once we got the lead, 6-8 points, I thought we were as good down the stretch as we have been all season with our shot selection, with our getting defensive stops, knocking down free throws, taking care of the ball. It was just a solid finish to that game.
Yeah, Scott, those were 2 games you needed in the worst way to win. You've now won 3 in a row, trying to hopefully win 4 and 5 in a row this weekend, but those were huge.
Yeah, it was absolutely huge, as is every game down the stretch, because there's just a game or so separating 2 through 6, maybe 2 games, and we're right in the middle of that pack, and we just can't afford any hiccups at this point. Every game, whether it's Walla Walla, Multnomah, Warner Pack, everyone counts in the win and loss column, and we need every win we can get going down the stretch here.
Yeah, you're only if you look. I always look at the loss side of the column, and right now you're basically 2 out of second place.
Yeah, and you can pinpoint it to a 4-point loss at Warner Pack and a 4-point loss over at Southern in overtime. Those games could have easily been wins. They weren't, and so we're in the position we're at.
And close, as you said, close but no cigar.
Well,
and, you can make excuses, but
and also with Corbin, we were down and got it back within 3. And had some chances down the stretch. And so we've been very competitive with everybody up at the top of the conference. We were also down by 3 at Eastern with a couple minutes to go. And so we've battled with everybody, and we've got a couple, and we've let a couple get away. And there's just that, narrow margin of error in conference.
We'll come back to Eastern in just a moment. We want to get done recapping this last weekend. I thought your bench, again, is – right now, from what I see, it is improving and improving and improving. We have some lapses on defense, but the young kids, they're starting to figure it out, and you're getting a little bit more consistency.
Yeah, absolutely. And they've really applied themselves to our defense. They're taking care of the ball. They're feeling comfortable in the offensive schemes, and we've got a little a boost last week getting Michaela Shoemaker back. So now we have more depth, and we're moving her. She still plays a 5, but we're moving her over to the 4 to give us a little more depth at that position. And so no longer is our bench just freshmen. We also have a senior there that's trying to work her way back into the lineup.
Well, and that helps. And as good as Courtney Clemmer's been, and Bailey Nelson has, in my opinion, really stepped her game up the last 3 games for you. Your thoughts there?
Yeah, I think Bailey's been playing like an all-conference post. She's just really, really experienced and solid defensively. She's been putting up good scoring numbers, finishing her shots. She's just a very experienced player for us and plays like it. And Courtney comes off with a little more height, causes some different problems for the defenses, but she's shooting at an exceptionally high percentage right now. And so we're very comfortable with what we've been getting from the post players there, and that's part of the reason to move Michaela over to the 4.
Scott, one thing. You got 15 points on Friday night from your bench. Saturday night, you got 39 points from the bench. And a given factor, I mean, Northwest is a little ahead, obviously, of Evergreen State. But that's a huge, huge shot off the bench. That has really helped.
Yeah, it is. And we've tried to get the minutes when we can and tried to bring them along. And at this time of the year, we just don't think of them as freshmen anymore. Now they're players. And even though they're young and their eyes are still wide, big and wide, they're playing with more confidence, and I think that's a huge thing. They've been through the battles, they've been on the road a little bit, and they're just playing with more confidence, and I think they understand their roles better. And it takes a while to get accustomed to the style of play and the people you're playing with, but they really look like they're syncing very well together now.
Well, I'll tell you, I think your team is turning. I think they've turned an extra corner now with the depth really able to help you.
Yeah,
really able to help you.
And people keep reminding me that, hey, we're starting a couple of sophomores and everybody coming off the bench are freshmen. But, we've recruited good, solid student athletes. They've done really well together with their team chemistry. They work hard in practice. They've done well in the classroom. And we have high expectations for their play, whether they're seniors or freshmen.
Getting back to Eastern Oregon, boy, they've been on a tear, ripping through the Cascade Conference. Not getting a ton of respect nationally at 17-2 overall. And their first two losses were their first two games. They're 17-0. What do you think about that?
Well, the bulk of the NAIA teams are in the Midwest.
Yep.
And, you take a look at a team like Morningside out of the Great Plains Conference. I think they're like 5th in their conference, but they're ranked higher than Eastern Oregon is, being number 1 in our conference.
And they're 17-5 overall, yeah.
Right. And so, we need to continue to, our teams that we send to the national tournament, we need to continue to have success, earn more respect. But there's a little bit of West Coast bias. They're just, it's hard for teams in the Midwest to assess how we are out here on the West Coast. And, it's really expensive to travel back to Kansas or Nebraska to play non-conference games, so it rarely happens. And so teams in the Cal Pac and the Cascade Conference are playing each other, and we'll play teams out of the GSAC and the Frontier Conference. But there's very little crossover with teams from the Great Plains and the greater Chicagoland area conferences, and they just don't see what we're about. And I think if there was some of those, non-conference matchups early on, I think they'd see the strength of the Cascade Conference. Eastern, Corbin, Southern, ourselves, Warner Pack, we're all extremely competitive and can be at the national level.
Point well taken.
Yeah, very good point, in my opinion, Scott. We are here at Abby's Pizza, 104.3 AM 960 Sports. We're streaming live on Klamath Falls News on Facebook. We invite you to tune in every Tuesday night. Now, we'll remind everybody, the Lady Owls starting a big homestand this weekend. We have 3 games. Friday, of course, is Warner Pacific. Saturday, the 10th annual Pink Out. That'll be against Multnomah. And then on Tuesday, the Raiders are coming Tuesday night to Danny Miles Court. Huge weekend of the next 3 games at home.
Yeah, and, we just jumped off the bus 4 o'clock on Sunday, had the day yesterday to kind of prep for this week. But then once we get into the weekend, we've got 3 games in 5 days. And so it's all about the prep work ahead of time, back-to-back on Friday, Saturday, then you have Sunday, Monday to prepare for your arch rival. And that makes it a tough go for everybody involved, for Southern as well. They've got the same schedule we do. And so it just doesn't leave a lot of prep time. Fortunately, the prep for the teams we're playing with Warner and Multnomah is similar to the prep work we'll do for Southern. The same type of presses, same type of defenses. And I think we can do kind of a generic game prep for all 3, and it should suffice.
I tell you, I think those 3 games are all so winnable.
Yeah.
So winnable.
Yeah.
And I think it's an absolute necessity that you win 2 out of 3, but 3 out of 3 is better.
Yeah, we really need to sweep to stay up with the pack up at the top. They are winnable, but we're going to have to play very good basketball. Don't forget, Multnomah is a team that's already beaten Southern and beaten Northwest Christian. So while, of course, we've got one eye on Southern on Tuesday, Warner Pack's a team we lost to by 4 on the road.
I was going to mention that. A little payback time for Warner Pacific.
Multnomah has risen up, but we're at home. Feel very good about being at home. We have been quite the road team this year, and we feel good about the way we played at both Northwest and Evergreen. I think our team has really earned some confidence, and I feel like they're very focused on what we have to do. The girls, and I can tell, they're putting up things on our whiteboard for our game prep. Tells me that they've been trained, they care, they're thinking about what they need to do. And so I've seen this team grow just in terms of maturity and leadership a lot over the last month or so.
Well, that's what you want to have. All right, well, we'll talk a little bit more about Pink Out when we come back. Going to take a quick break. When we come back, Scott Meredith will stay with us. Abby Kreiser from the Lady Owls will join us, and we'll be back to Abby's Pizza. A reminder, you're listening to the Oregon Tech Owls Coaches Show. We're live on 104.3 and 960 Sports, also on Klamath Falls News on Facebook. Back to Abby's Pizza after this.
Threads. There are many threads that run through our region. There are churches and schools and little league teams that bring us together and bind us into communities. There are roads and cars, there are houses and jobs and businesses, all woven together to make the fabric of our communities. There are financial threads that are part of that tapestry as well. For over 80 years, it's been our pleasure to be headquartered here, providing financial services to generations of our friends and neighbors. From that first savings account, to retirement planning, and all of the cars and houses and groceries in between, we keep your money local, investing it back into our communities, adding more threads to the fabric to make our communities stronger. Pacific Crest Federal Credit Union. Find your path.
You can have your car taken to the shop of your choice. So my friend had her car taken to Excel Auto Body because she heard about their reputation for excellent work. They even gave her a written warranty that's good for as long as she owns that car. So Excel Auto Body is a very smart choice.
Hi, I'm Rourke, owner of Excel Auto Body. No matter if the damage is minor or major, you'll want to choose us now. So if you are ever in an accident, you'll be ready. And remember, it's your choice what body shop you go to. Choose Excel Auto Body. It's your car, our reputation.
Slow down.
Slow down and move over.
And move over. When you see lights,
Vests.
Or reflectors.
please give us some room. Slow down and move over. When you need us,
We've got your back.
Do you have ours?
You got our back?
you got ours.
You got our back?
Please slow down.
And move over.
Back to Abby's Pizza on Campus Square. This is the OIT Coaches Show. Here's Bobby and Mike.
Back here at Abby's Campus Square, and of course, Scott Meredith, you have a special player that you have brought here tonight. Would you tell us a little bit about this good-looking gal?
I will. Sophomore point guard Abby Kreiser from Mountain View, Idaho. So proud to be her coach. She was part of 2 state championship teams, was a backcourt mate of a kid named Destiny Slocum, who's currently playing at Oregon State, and they had a tremendous run. Abby was referred to me by her AAU coach from Idaho Flash, Stu Sells, and Abby has lived up to everything Stu told me she was. Thank you, Stu. And Abby's embarking on a tremendous career here with senior point guard Alex Bennington going down with a knee injury. Abby's taken over the helm at our point guard position, is just doing a fantastic job, is coming off of one of her best all-around games, had a double-double the other night, and with 11 rebounds of all things.
Right?
And, yeah, so
every time
really
I was like, rebound, or it's Abby Kreiser
Yeah.
again, right in the middle, right?
Well, I was shocked too.
Okay.
Yeah.
super happy with Abby's progress. She's got all kinds of court swag, just vision, dance moves, you name it, Abby's got it.
Well, you know, the one thing I found out is that Abby and Nohea can't foul out at the same game.
Yeah.
Oh,
we found that out in a hurry, didn't we?
Yeah.
So that's not going to happen again. I don't think either one of them are going to foul out.
Never again.
They're going to stay in the game. And, of course, she's almost a Beaver fan then, too, with her teammate playing for Oregon State.
Yeah, I'll cheer for her, of course. I got Disney's back. She's a great player to watch. She taught me a lot. I'll cheer on. That's fair enough.
How do you compare your sophomore year this year to your freshman year last year?
Oh, I think it's completely different. I'm in a completely different role for starters. I mean, it's unfortunate that Alex Biddington went down because we played together really well, I thought, and we always helped each other out on the court. And at least, I mean, having her there on the bench is still really great for us. It's her IQ of the game and everything, and just having her support still means a lot. But coming back from my freshman year, I think it's a huge jump. I learned a lot. I mean, the transition from high school to freshman year is already a pretty big jump. And I think that I learned a lot and came into the system. And it's just a lot different than anything I learned in high school. But I think that coming from my freshman year to my sophomore year has I think it's gone pretty well so far. And so I think that I just feel I almost feel like a veteran this year, even though like going with the seniors and everything like that. And I just feel like our starting lineup, I mean, we're all very experienced, and I think that the transition from my freshman year it's been a pretty big leap, and I'm excited about it.
Just for half a moment away from basketball, saying, what is your major? What are you planning to do when you get out of college?
Well, I'm a communications major, but I want to go to law school after.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, you like to converse.
Yeah. I like to talk.
Yeah. Letter of the law.
Argue a little bit,
Yeah.
Is there any particular form of the law you're really as your interest?
I think I want to go into criminal law for sure. That's kind of always been what I've been a little bit more passionate about, and probably like prosecution side.
You watch Law and Order? Is that what you do?
I don't watch Law and Order.
Okay.
I don't actually.
No, but she will be following her mother's footsteps.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Scott, you have seen Abby since obviously when she was in high school. How far? Obviously, you can look at the stats and see how far she's progressed. But for you as a coach, offense, defense, overall, what's your thoughts?
Defensively, Abby has improved so much. Really has bought into our man-to-man system. She's become an outstanding defender. Abby's always had the ball skills. She could shoot it. She has a form, tremendous passing skills. But this year she's much calmer on the floor, much more confident, and she's not making those overt freshman mistakes of, jumping in the air and not sure where she's going and coming down with the ball and getting a travel. We just don't see those type of things. And some of the turnovers we do see, in transition, those long passes that sometimes get intercepted or whatever, I want her to do that. I want her to push the tempo, and we want to run. So I'm willing to accept some of those kind of turnovers because the reward is so tremendous if we make it.
Well, I'm going to put you in a good category here because before you were here, Nohea was the only one I saw that could make that three-quarter court pass on a dime, as we like to say. You're the other one. You guys both look for that pass, don't you?
Yeah, that's one of my favorite passes to make up in transition. It's an easy bucket. We get back on defense and go again.
Well, for you, at times, and I think we said it the other night on the post-game show, once in a while we'd like to kick you and tell you to shoot a little more.
I've honestly been told that throughout my whole life playing basketball. But I don't know. I like to shoot it when I'm open and, of course, score some points. But passing has just always kind of been like my thing, I guess.
You like to to make that pass.
Yeah.
And instead of but boy, your 3-point shot this year seems way more consistent than it did last year.
I think I'm shooting more as part of it too. I think even just looking for my shot more, just part of the confidence that I think comes from my freshman and my sophomore year.
Well, we need that. All right, this weekend, Warner Pacific Friday.
Mm-hmm.
I thought we had that game up there.
I thought we had that game.
We kind of gave it away a little bit.
We did.
Your thoughts on Warner Pacific?
I think that they're 100% beatable as long as we go out there and execute. A big part of our thing is going to be with their press is staying calm and not panicking, not throwing those crazy passes when we really don't have to, just getting it over, settling into our offense, and executing. I think that, obviously Bailey Allen had a better game than we thought she would have. But who knows, on our home floor, we obviously have an advantage there. And I think that we just have to go in confident. I think we really flipped a page after our loss to Corbin and beginning with that game against Northwest Christian. We came together way more as a team. And I think that we're ready to go on and look for the sweep this weekend for sure. 3
games at home here for you guys. You've only played 7 at home all year.
Yeah.
Scott's got to do a better job of that, doesn't he?
It is hard. You know, it wasn't hard getting teams up here the first couple of years when we weren't very good. And as our program has grown, it's been getting harder to get teams to come up to Klamath Falls. They're happy for us to visit them up in the corridor up in the Willamette Valley or to go down to California. But it really takes some coercing to get teams to come up here now.
And are we still working on getting a game next year at Idaho?
Yeah, that's going to happen. Yeah, got a call from assistant coach at Boise State for an exhibition, and with the Idaho kids we have, I guess the coach I talked to is actually Abby's next door neighbor.
Yeah, she doesn't live too far down the road.
So that might have been why we got the call. It's just an exhibition, won't count on the win-loss record, but I think it'll be a neat experience to play in the big venue, and with the Idaho kids on our roster, I think it's a great timing.
That'd be fun.
Yeah.
Should be fun next year. All right, but we can't get too far ahead. Scott, Abby, Friday night Warner Pacific. Saturday, it's the 10th annual Pink Out. Always a lot of fun and big crowds.
Yeah, we hope so. It's such a great event, such a great premise to hold an athletic event for the Pink Out in memory of Martha Ann Dow and breast cancer research. And so I really hope that the fans come out and pack the house.
Yeah, first 1,000 fans get the free Pink Out T-shirts.
Nice.
Thanks to Sky Lakes Medical Center. Abby, we always have enjoyed watching the last 2 years, and
Thank you.
We got to keep it going this weekend. Big games and a 3-game homestand. Starts Friday night. A little payback for Warner Pacific.
Yes.
Yeah,
for sure.
For sure. Scott Meredith, thank you.
You're welcome.
Abby,
thank you, guys.
Thank you.
We are live at Abby's Pizza, Oregon Tech Owls Coaches Show. We'll take a timeout. When we come back, we'll talk to head coach Justin Parnell from the Hustlin Owls, and Tyler Heib is in the house for more basketball with the Oregon Tech Hustling Owls, who, by the way, moved up to number 12 today in the NAI Top 25. Back to Abby's after this.
Threads. There are many threads that run through our region. There are churches and schools and Little League teams that bring us together and bind us into communities. There are roads and cars, there are houses and jobs and businesses, all woven together to make the fabric of our communities. There are financial threads that are part of that tapestry as well. For over 80 years, it's been our pleasure to be headquartered here, providing financial services to generations of our friends and neighbors. From that first savings account, to retirement planning, and all of the cars and houses and groceries in between, we keep your money local, investing it back into our communities, adding more threads to the fabric to make our communities stronger. Pacific Crest Federal Credit Union. Find your path.
You can have your car taken to the shop of your choice. So my friend had her car taken to Excel Auto Body because she heard about their reputation for excellent work. They even gave her a written warranty that's good for as long as she owns that car. So Excel Auto Body is a very smart choice.
Hi, I'm Rourke, owner of Excel Auto Body. No matter if the damage is minor or major, you'll want to choose us now. So if you are ever in an accident, you'll be ready. And remember, it's your choice what body shop you go to. Choose Excel Auto Body. It's your car, our reputation.
Slow down.
Slow down and move over.
And move over.
When you see lights,
Vests.
Or reflectors.
please give us some room. Slow down and move over. When you need us,
We've got your back.
Do you have ours?
You got our back?
You got ours? You got our back?
please slow down.
And move over.
IT Coaches Show with Bobby and Mike.
And we welcome you back into Abby's Pizza at Campus Square. It's the Oregon Tech Owls Coaches Show. We're live on 104.3 and 960 Sports. Also streaming on Facebook at Klamath Falls News, as well as we welcome in the head coach for the Hustling Owls, Justin Parnell. Good evening.
Good evening.
And, of course, Ty Heib to his right. We'll get more with Ty coming up here on the next segment. But Bobby Thompson, Justin Parnell, great weekend for the Hustling Owls. You got 2 wins. Boy, it sure didn't look like it on Friday night against Northwest, but you don't apologize. You got the win.
Yeah, never give a win back. No doubt about that. Friday night was an incredible last couple minutes. I've never, that was being down 7 with 2 to go, and, the way we won it at the end was rather exciting. And, we didn't play great, but I don't want to take anything away from Northwest. I thought their game plan was really good, and they played hard, and then the next night I thought we started really well for the first time in a while and kind of hung on. And it was nice to have a non-stressful game on Saturday because it's been a long time since we had one of those.
You look when you said about Friday night being down 2 and then down 7, and people that were listening to the game at home and watching it on the computer and everything, and they shake their head, they go in another room, and then they come back, and you're down 2, and then they go back and forth like that. It was an amazing game, and how we won, you just look at the last minute and a half or so as far as getting over the hump on that. It was amazing.
I mean, you got to finish games, and we've seen it a million times, and this team has just done a really good job. I think we've played, I want to say, 9 games, that have been decided in the last minute or minute and a half, and we've won 8 of them. And, what's great about this team is, since Thanksgiving – we've lost 2 games, and they've both been by 1 possession.
Right. And, one at home and then one at College of Idaho, which is a place we've had actually success at. So
more than any other team has
really,
had.
Really, you look at it, and going back to this last weekend and Friday night, I mean, it's so important to make your free throws, but it's also so important that the kids know what the game plan is when we're down 8 or 9 and the right kids to foul. Even though they made their free throws, we found, and Ty, you can say you guys knew who to foul and who not to foul. That is so important. And you can watch some D1 games, and the guys, they're not fouling the right guys, and it's so frustrating when you're going, that's not the guy, and I thought our kids did a great job those final 2 minutes executing what you guys had told them to do.
Yeah, I mean, we fouled a little earlier than we normally would, just because we felt really good about a couple of their guys missing some key shots. And I really thought that one of the biggest plays was actually Ty, and they passed the ball into, I think it was Ricks or Navarro, and it was like 28 seconds to go or something, and Ty didn't foul. He was patient, and it got back to the guy we wanted to foul, and he fouled him and went down and missed both, and, we went down and scored and stole the ball and scored again. And that's just, it's maturity, it's experience, and that's a play that probably no one else really saw or really understood, but
we did. We saw it, and it's true. You watch enough of it, you see, hey, people, that's the stuff they don't see in the book, the scorebook. They don't see the guy that had really the sack bunt in baseball to get the guy to second base. All they ever see is the next guy with the pinch hit single. But that was such a key play, Ty, and this team of ours is a real team. I mean, any given night, Ty, you can go off for 28, or you'll have 4 the next night. You're just as happy the next night as long as we win. Yep.
He's a little happier when he.
Well, I was trying to set him up nice. I know Mom's listening, but go ahead.
Justin, the thing I liked about the 2 games, like in the game against Northwest, the bench scoring, off the bench, here came all the help that you got. You outscored them 26-5. Off the bench, and then Saturday night from top to bottom, 12 and 10, and down there 9s, 8s, 7s, everything sets balanced, perfect balance scoring.
Yeah, nobody's trying to get theirs at all on this team. I think John Wooden had the greatest quote for a team sport ever, and it was, it's amazing what can be accomplished when no one cares who gets the credit. And that's hard because you still want guys to have a killer mentality, and you want your studs to have a little bit of selfishness in them. But at the same time, they just want to win. And I think early in the year when we were having some issues when we went on that 3-game losing streak, I think there was a few guys, probably 8 guys that really wanted to play more than they wanted to win. And I think once we got past that and became a complete unit, and guys were just wanting to win no matter at what cost. If I'm going to play 5 minutes or 25, and Things always have a way of working themselves out, but this team stuck together, and they've been a team since that trip to Idaho, and since then we've been on a roll.
Well, and even at Idaho, we were right there in that game. And so, and you look at going and playing at Eastern. They swept us. They still only have the one loss at home. That was to us.
Could get another one tonight, though.
Well, we'll see. That's a game we're going to definitely keep an eye on tonight in the schedule, Bobby.
Yeah, we'll find out, on how the voting went, as far as the ranking. We'll find out if Eastern Oregon is up to the job to get it done. I think they are. Well, it's tough to beat College High. They don't lose 2 games in a row. They're like an Oregon Tech team. They don't lose 2 games in a row.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, they're pretty impressive. The only thing is Eastern is a hard place to play.
It is.
And it's a short turnaround, and, especially College of Idaho coming off of a loss. I'm looking forward to watching that game. I think it'll be a really good game. And we'll find out if Eastern's really kind of the real deal. The ratings were really unfortunate because Eastern had to be third. Otherwise, head-to-head means nothing.
Yeah,
I'm the Raider, and I felt really strong about it. And we tied Eastern and Northwest Christian. First time we've only had 2 teams in the polls in 2.5 years, but that's the nature of the beast. And Eastern didn't have a good enough overall record. NCU does.
Right. But they've lost twice, right, to Eastern.
But they did.
Yeah.
My hands were tied. I mean, if we did anything else, we would have gotten called out.
Where you look on there, Eastern lost 7 non-league games in a row. And there were some good opponents in that 7 that they lost. Not great, but, they started to play. The only thing that really matters is league. Yes. League is what matters. That's the chance you have a chance to go to the national tournament. And they have prevailed very nicely in league. They're kind of the team that is on – people think, oh, gosh, Eastern Oregon won, because the women's team, yes, but the men's, they haven't felt that way, and they've been answering the call at the bell.
Oh, man. Yeah, I mean, they've swept the Northwest Christian Corbin schools, and that's pretty impressive.
It is.
I don't think anybody has a chance to do that right now. And
no, that's it. They were the only ones that will be able to do it.
The team that got left out a little bit is Northwest Christian. I think they belong in the top 25, and I think they'll be there before the year is over. They'll be in the national tournament, but they're just it's kind of been the perfect storm as far as them not being in the ratings.
And we've seen it. We've been in that position.
Yeah.
And, I mean, really, the conference did what we had to do at the time, keep Southern up, and Northwest Christian. Like you said, they've been right there. But, in the end, if they continue to play like they've been playing, I think they'll definitely be there. And they're a tough matchup for a lot of people.
Oh, they're extremely tough.
Northwest Christian, fast, quick.
They can shoot it.
And they can shoot.
And they can shoot. You bet they can.
And they're very dangerous. We'll remind you, you're listening to the Oregon Tech Owls Coaches Show. We're here on 104.3, 960 Sports, live on the radio, also live on Facebook at Klamath Falls News. Tuesday nights at 5 o'clock, we do this OIT Coaches Show. Justin, big weekend for the Hustling Owls, and the next 3 games are at home. 3-game homestand. It starts with Warner Pacific on Friday night. Saturday night, it's Multnomah for the 10th annual Pink Out. And then just like a couple days later, next Tuesday night, we won't have a coaches show because, we'll be hosting Southern Oregon up at Danny Miles Court.
Yeah, it's almost overwhelming to think about all 3 of them, but we'll take it one game at a time, and Warner Pacific is playing as good as they've played all year. They had a really unfortunate week where they lost to Multnomah, and then Southern and us went up there and swept them. And since then, they've been pretty good, and they won at Northwest Christian. They beat Eastern by 14. They're a good basketball team, and they were missing a guy when they played us. So, that's going to be a great game on Friday night. And then Pink Out with Multnomah on Saturday. If you want to see an incredible team, come up and watch them. And then, obviously, if we can fortunate enough to get those 2, sets up a pretty fun Tuesday night with our rival.
Yeah, Warner right now, they've won 4 in a row. They're playing well, and they're not getting lots of scoring out of Colin. He's concentrating more on the rebounds and everything, and other guys have been doing the scoring in their games of late.
Yeah, I mean, Ballard off the bench is tough. Bell has always given us some problems because he's a tough matchup.
Gabe Garrett did not start against us up there. Came off the bench and was their leading scorer, and against Multnomah, 25 points, 13 boards.
Well, he scored 20, not including the 20 he scored against us. So he scored 23 times since we've played him.
Yeah.
He's a really good player that I heard an interview where he's kind of got a weird game, kind of a different game, and Jared Valentine was kind of he had to learn to play in Warner's system, and Warner had to learn how to use him, and they figured it out because he's a pretty tough player now.
Yeah, good team that shoots the ball pretty well from long range as well.
Yeah, they do. They're really good. I mean, they're 5-5, and they're a team that could win a game at the national tournament, I feel. So, that's going to be a battle.
And they're a couple possessions away from being 7-3.
Yeah, I mean,
they look at Warner Pack.
Yeah, they lost to us there in the last seconds, and then they lost to Multnomah in the last seconds. They got beat pretty good by Corbin. I think Corbin really got them, and Southern punished them a little bit. But they're a really good basketball team, and we'll have to play very well to beat them.
Talk about pink out Multnomah. The sides, obviously, you got one of the most prolific scorers right now in the NAI offensively in Multnomah, but it's just a different team.
Well, I'd encourage anybody who's never been to a pink out to come out because it's a pretty special night, and it's incredible, really. And pair that with playing one of the most unique teams I've ever seen. You're going to see, hopefully they don't get 60 attempts from three, but they're going to shoot it every time from three down the floor. And Justin Martin, is a once-in-a-lifetime type talent, and he's incredible. And I hope it's not a high-scoring affair, but I can guarantee you there's going to be some excitement.
In that, when they played Warner just recently, Martin was 2 for 10, Grandel was 1 for 11, and the guys who scored were Richardson and Blackstock from the three-point line.
Yeah.
So they can all shoot it, but if they get it all going at the same time, then you're really in trouble.
You are. That's why you kind of have to pick your poison. Some teams have done what Warner did and try to take away Martin and give up some stuff to other people. They got lucky that Grandel went 1 for 11 because that never happens. Or you can try to completely take away everybody else and let Justin Martin get going. And we did the latter there. We tried to guard Justin Martin one-on-one and take care of everybody else, and it worked. But I really felt at Multnomah, if we could have been better offensively, that would have been a 20-point game. But we weren't, and they got hot there at the end. We had to come back and win.
Well, as College of Idaho could attest to, Cascade Conference, anywhere from, honestly, 8 all the way through, you can't take a night off.
Yeah, I think, I compare it to when I was playing, and I think the top 4 are pretty similar, really good basketball teams. But when I played, really 5 through 9 or 10, it wasn't like this, Northwest is, 2-9 now, and they're pretty good. I mean, they got Hussein Ford, who I think is one of the top 3 players in the league. Their point guard Navarro, who Ty has done an incredible job twice guarding him now. He's a really good player, and I think their little point guard, is extremely quick and has done as good a job as anybody guarding Mitch Fink. So they're a good basketball team, and they're sitting at 2-9.
Yeah, and we had to get some magic to beat them at their place.
That was the Pazan, what does he call it, the magic dust?
The magic
dust.
dust.
The magic dust was out.
The magic dust, but we say that, but then we look and go, hey, we had we found the right guy. Mitch comes up obviously with the play of the game, which was the steal in the corner, and then Scotty Burge with the tip in it, and there you go.
Well, we had 3 baskets down the stretch. 2 of them were at the rim, which is what you want to do. One of them we got at the foul line when he got an offensive rebound, and one was an open 3. And I really felt that we didn't settle in all of our possessions. Not for some reason. I know because these guys are experienced and want to win and are smart, but we really like to get to the rim at the end of games. And I think that's the big key is we're not taking contested threes to jump back in it immediately. Guys are getting to the rim and chipping away, and then all of a sudden you find yourself down 1 and they throw the ball away and we score.
Well, we'll wrap up the 3-game homestand Tuesday against Southern Oregon, the Raider, and, there's another team that was ranked in the top 25 for the first half of the year. They've struggled as of late. Your thoughts next Tuesday?
That's going to be a grinder no matter which way you look at it.
Third game in 5 days, right?
Yeah, nope. I would imagine after this weekend we'll have won 4 straight, and they're going to be back on a roll. They had a rough week. They lost 3 in 1 week at home, but they're so much better than that. I think they still have an outside chance to climb back into the top 3 or 4. maybe
Yeah,
two if they really
5 and 6, just like Corbin. They're both 5 and 6.
Yeah, and they have 4 of 7 at home, so they're sitting in a pretty good spot if they can put together some wins.
Yeah, they have the same schedule left that we do.
Yep.
And it's very interesting.
Yeah.
As far as when we play like that, it's going to be a close call.
Yeah.
Well, Hustling Owls begin a 3-game homestand this Friday night. Going to be a lot of fun with Warner Pacific, Multnomah Saturday, and then we just mentioned Tuesday night, Southern Oregon. We're going to take a timeout. When we come back, more with the junior from Wilsonville. We'll talk to Tyler Heib, also head coach Justin Parnell. We're live at Abby's.
Threads. There are many threads that run through our region. There are churches and schools and Little League teams that bring us together and bind us into communities. There are roads and cars, there are houses and jobs and businesses, all woven together to make the fabric of our communities. There are financial threads that are part of that tapestry as well. For over 80 years, it's been our pleasure to be headquartered here, providing financial services to generations of our friends and neighbors. From that first savings account, to retirement planning, and all of the cars and houses and groceries in between. We keep your money local, investing it back into our communities, adding more threads to the fabric to make our communities stronger. Pacific Crest Federal Credit Union. Find your path.
You can have your car taken to the shop of your choice. So my friend had her car taken to Excel Auto Body because she heard about their reputation for excellent work. They even gave her a written warranty that's good for as long as she owns that car. So Excel Auto Body is a very smart choice.
Hi, I'm Rorik, owner of Excel Auto Body. No matter if the damage is minor or major, you'll want to choose us now. So if you are ever in an accident, you'll be ready. And remember, it's your choice what body shop you go to. Choose Excel Auto Body. It's your car, our reputation.
Slow down.
Slow down and move over.
And move over.
When you see lights,
Vests.
Or reflectors.
please give us some room. Slow down and move over. When you need us,
We've got your back.
Do you have ours?
You got our back?
You got ours? You got our back?
please slow down.
And move over.
You're listening to the OIT Coaches Show from Abby's Pizza on Campus Square. Here's Bobby and Mike.
Well, back at Abby's Campus Square, Bobby Thompson, Mike Garrard, and of course, Coach Justin Parnell. You've got somebody to introduce to us, one of the top dogs for the Dexters. Go ahead.
Yeah, we got Ty Heib here. One of my there's the first kid I called when I got the job, and one of my first recruits, and felt really fortunate to get him. Ty's had an incredible career so far. He and Mitch and Seth have been part of the complete. We took over and wanted to get back to getting to national tournaments and competing for the league title. They started with them, and they've just done a great job of getting our culture. The culture was already outstanding, but we kind of had to get our own thing going. And I thank those guys every day for helping us get through it and growing pains. And I've probably been harder on Ty than I've ever been on anybody. Part of it's because he takes it really well, and there's a lot of trust between he and I, and he knows when I'm just blowing off frustration, and then he knows when we need something different. And Ty's had a great career. He's hit so. I think when Ty graduates and I look back, what I'll think is he's just hit so many big shots. You think back to his freshman year, he hit a big shot at Warner that really saved our season, and then he hit some big ones last year. And then you look at this year, he saved our bacon at Multnomah, had 4 threes in the final 3 minutes or so, and then at Southern Oregon, he drills 4 threes in the last 7 minutes, and you can't say enough good things about him. He's a culture guy, he's an Oregon Tech guy, great kid, and appreciate what he's brought. He, Mitch, and Seth, and Garrett, and Scotty have brought to this program to get us back to, we're sitting tonight. It could change, but we're sitting tonight at number 12. And you think back 3 years ago when those guys arrived and their first night, they got here, instead of going out to eat with their parents and stuff, they got in the gym. And that was the night everything started to shift, and big reason is this guy right here.
That's a heck of introduction, Ty.
Wow. Yeah.
Well deserved, by the way.
Yeah.
How's the ride been this year?
This year's been really fun. It's been a little different than the last couple years. The last couple years we've been really close as a team, but this year I think we're really a unit, and I think you can tell that with the close games that we've been able to pull out. I think that really is due to us being really a unit this year, and everybody playing well. So
that Friday game against Friday night, that had to be the funnest 2 minutes. The 38 minutes before, maybe not so much fun, but the last 2 minutes, those were fun.
Yeah, it was crazy. I remember, I think it was my freshman year when we played Northwest, and kind of the same thing happened. We were down 6, I think, with a minute left. Ended up winning that one in overtime, and then this one at Northwest, down 7 with 2 minutes. So
Northwest is so tough at home. For us, I mean, they've always been tough at home, but they've even had some tough games here as well.
I think it's the biggest home court advantage in the league, comparative to us in Idaho. Yes, I do.
There's the whole size of it. We talked about it last week and Ty, that gym, you guys survived. What's odd is you go from that tightness to then the openness of Evergreen the next night. That can be a big adjustment.
Yeah, that road trip's definitely one of the harder ones to play at. Northwest gets so loud because it's so condensed, and then playing at Evergreen's a bigger gym. So, it's definitely a hard road trip to get 2 wins on.
Well, talk about your major.
Yeah, I'm operations management right now, and I actually have a internship this summer in San Diego, working for a construction company and doing their operations within their company, learning how to do that from
San Diego. That's going to be tough.
Yeah, well,
the
I'll make sure
Wilsonville
I'm
kid
in the
down
gym.
to San Diego, huh?
Yeah.
Better get a tan.
Yeah, no, I'll try.
Better, and I got to say, Justin talked about the other guys, but one guy that's behind the scenes, Tanner Karp.
Yes, Tanner Karp.
That came along with you, and everybody talks about sports and drag effects, and Tanner came to Oregon Tech with you, and he does such a huge job with us for all the graphics and social media stuff. So I give you an A+ for that.
Yeah, there you go. Tanner and I worked together in high school, and we were talking about where we were going to go, and he was deciding between Portland State and Oregon Tech, and I told him I was going to Oregon Tech. So I don't know if that's a deciding factor why he came here.
We're giving it to you.
But
we're giving it to you.
He came along.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I tell you, we're kind of running out of time here, Ty, but the first 2.5 years so far, we've gotten to the national tournament each year. We got to get there again, and we got to win a couple, right?
Yep. Yeah, we've dropped the first one both years in the past couple years at the Nationals, and we're hoping this year to do a little bit more damage there if we can make it there and kind of prove ourselves.
Well, I tell you, we always enjoy watching you. We love what you and your guys have brought to the team this year, and as Justin says, Oregon Tech guys.
Yep.
Absolutely. All right, Ty Heib, thanks for coming.
Of course.
Justin, some final thoughts as we head into the weekend?
Did you say hi to your mom?
I don't know if she's watching. I don't know if she knew about it, but hey, Mom.
It'll be there. She can watch it all the time on Facebook, right?
Come out and support
Falls
this weekend. It's gonna
Just
be a great
like we
weekend.
did 2 weekends ago.
Yeah.
Oh, my.
Yeah, those are great crowds. Okay, Justin, thank you. Tyler, thank you.
Thanks, guys.
We'll remind everybody that we will be, of course, live Danny Miles Court Friday and Saturday nights, 5:30 and 7:30. Ladies, of course, at 5:30. Men at 7:30. And then Tuesday night as well, Southern Oregon to wrap up the 3-game homestand. Going to be huge. 10th annual Pink Out Saturday night. Get there. First 1,000 fans get the Pink Out T-shirts. Thanks to Sky Lakes. Thanks to Bobby Thompson, Coach Parnell, Tyler Heib. Good night from Abby's.